I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and Food Truck 201, Get Off the Truck. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. For the last 2 weeks, I've been going over my book, Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. Been going over it chapter by chapter each day, and today we're on chapter number 12, which is entitled, I'm Broke. Basically, this chapter is what can you do to get started in your food truck business today? So for the folks that are cash flow challenged, there is a program out there that is called Cottage Foods. Every state has some version of this. And just like the general health rules and regulations, Cottage Foods are different from state to state, and they can be very different from state to state. But in general, a cottage food is a shelf-stable food that includes things like breads and cakes and cookies, some jams, vinegars, candy, spice mixes, coffee mixes, those kind of things. All of those can be prepared in a home kitchen. Many states don't require that home kitchen to be inspected, so you can literally start with next to no investment, no inspections. But again, you want to check with your rules and regulations to see what your state does require. You can take something as simple as a box of brownies. Buy that box of brownies, bake it, wrap the brownies. You got to put a label on it. You got to say that the brownie has been cooked in a kitchen that has not been inspected by the local health inspectors, and then you're allowed to sell that. So if you take that box of brownies that may cost you a couple of dollars and you turn it into, let's say, 16 pieces of brownie, if you sell them for $3 a piece, it's going to be 16 times 3, which is $48. Sell 2 boxes of those, that's $98. And I know that doesn't make you a millionaire, but that is $100 closer to your goal. If you do that 2 days a week, that would be $200 a weekend. Then the next weekend, you take some of that money, buy more stuff to sell, and you just continue to snowball that. You can do that with cottage foods. Some states will allow you to earn as much as several $100,000 in cottage foods. So just check out what your rules and regulations are. But that gets you started literally with less than probably $50, maybe even less than $20 if you already have cellophane and a cookie mix in your house. Then it's just a matter of printing off those labels. But it can be done. There are a number of people that go from cottage food to a tent setup where they buy just a couple of pieces of equipment to something as easy as hot dogs. Hot dogs are very popular, very easy to do, and can be very profitable. And then go from a tent setup into a trailer, then into eventually a food truck. So that's one way that you can get yourself started if you are a little bit cash flow challenged. You can check into crowdfunding. Kickstarter is a business equivalent of a GoFundMe, and it does have some rules and regulations, but you can use that to get your business started as long as you follow whatever the platform rules are. That works well if you already have a decent social media following. Say you've been one of those folks that do the home meals and you've got a decent following. Get some of those folks to help you by donating to your Kickstarter program. There's also a website called KIVA. I believe they pronounce it Kava, and they do crowd-funded loans. So this is a true loan, but it's funded by people that may be only loaning $25 or $50 at a time. The idea is that once you get whatever loan you're able to qualify for, and it could be enough to start a small food trailer, the goal is once you pay that loan back that you also then help to fund other people going into the future. And of course your money would be paid back just like you paid back the money. You can always save just like anybody else. Pick up a second job. Definitely Uber, doing a driver or doing delivery for Uber Eats or DoorDash or one of those others. Easy way to make money. Very low stress. But it is a way for you to save up a decent amount of money relatively quickly. And then if you got decent credit, you can borrow. You can do an SBA loan, which is Small Business Administration. They don't actually fund loans. What they do is guarantee the loan to a bank so the bank has less risk when they loan you money. You could also go through equipment leasing and perhaps get a trailer that way. The only negative is if you don't have a lot of money, then you don't have the money for insurance and inventory and all the other incidentals that you would need, because equipment leasing typically just covers the big piece of equipment. So speaking of leasing, there are other programs you can get involved with. One is a rent to own, and then there is lease to own. There is a number of companies that do both of them. You just need to make sure you understand the details. But I'll talk about two that I know and have dealt with in the past. One is called Rent to Own. It's a trailer manufacturer out of Houston, Texas. They build a very sturdy, high-quality trailer, and then their payments are just like if you were to go to Rent-A-Center and rent a washer and dryer, you're going to be making weekly payments. You have to put a little bit of a down payment with Rent-To-Own, and that down payment is based on the size of the trailer that you need and the equipment package that comes on the trailer. It's going to be anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000, again, depending upon the size of the trailer, but it does get you into one almost immediately, because they are able to build out or actually equip your trailer in about 5 weeks from the point that you go in and make that deposit. They are quite fast. I've been on a number of their trailers, and they are very sturdy, well-built trailers. Their weekly payments are a little bit higher, but their goal is to get you paid out quickly. You make all of your weekly payments, and you will own the trailer outright. No balloon payment, no nonsense at the end of 2 years. And in some cases, depending upon the size, it could be 3 years. The other program that I'm aware of is called Lease to Own, which sounds like the same thing as Rent to Own, but it is a little bit different. Joe, the cart guy out of Virginia, does these. He also builds a quality product, but he has another company do his financing on the Lease to Own. So, of course, their goal is to make money on the finance program as well. They only put a portion of your payment towards the end ownership. So it ends up costing you a lot more money to lease to own, and it's over a longer term. Their details change from time to time, but the last that I looked, about 25% of your payment was going towards the principal. The rest of it was profit for the leasing company. But still, the payments were lower than if you went with Rent to Own. Rent to Own will cost you somewhere between $350 to $500 a week, whereas the Lease to Own would be under $1,000 a month. But the problem is only 25% of that's going towards your ownership. So you're going to be paying a whole lot more long term. But those are two companies. There are other companies that do similar things. Just make sure you understand the math and how much the overall business is going to cost you, or the overall product's going to cost you. So there's just a few tips on how you can get started with little to no money. It can be done if you want to do it. All you got to do is make a plan, and then, of course, carry out your plan. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow, because y'all got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.